Why did you? I choose you. Why did you?
We're live, Fettis.
We are live.
All right. Welcome, Yam Fam, to our weekly community call. It's Thursday, January 21st. Feda's here running through kind of what's been going on for the last week, what's going to go on in the next week. Thank you for tuning in. And we're going to get started by, if anybody feels like they want to give an intro, we've got a couple of community members here, team members, if anybody feels inclined, you're welcome to.
Hey guys, this is Kevin. I'd actually love to give a quick intro about myself. Honestly, been super interested in the entire community for a while, and know Dan pretty well. Since the time he introduced the project to us, we've been really excited about it. I'm the founder of Boardroom. We build governance tools for different DAOs and like ecosystems in crypto. And like one of the things we've been really focused on recently is chatting with different communities about their governance process and decision-making process, from policy ideation to actually more formalized signaling to actual execution. So I was really interested, Ferris, to read the updated governance process proposal. Definitely want to get more involved in the process, and obviously also try to bring in some insights from some other ecosystems and communities into the YAM community, just to compare and contrast. So really excited about diving in a bit, and yeah, thanks for hosting me.
Welcome, Kevin. Yeah, that sounds awesome. We, as you know, we are a DAO, so everything we go through basically goes through governance. And actually, most of the team members here were previously just community members. The founders are not, no longer actively participating. So it really is in the hands of the contributors. So any of you guys listening out there, you guys are welcome to come in, join, partake, make recommendations, proposals, et cetera, et cetera. We're happy to have you. I came up from just as a community member myself. So it's been a great process, and we're happy to have you. And YAM isn't anything without the community and the things that we work on together. So anybody else like to make an introduction? I know Theo has been here a couple of times, and he's a community member that recently just became a contributing strategist. So, but he's introduced himself plenty of times. So anyways, let's move forward, unless anybody else has anything to say. This past week in governance, we do have the governance system reform, and Ross has been going over this every week. So we are still, Ross, why don't you just take it away?
Sure. Yeah, so just a quick update on this, because it's not really that different from last week. On the forum, there is a post, as was just discussed, about looking at the governance process. And so there hasn't been a whole lot of discussion about that. So we're going to move it forward into the proposal stage. I'm going to take some of the big points and put it up for a proposal and votes on the different elements. These are mainly updating how we snapshot and signal versus final signaling, updating the quorum requirements on signaling, and then a few other elements like creating maintenance proposals that are shorter time frame. So that'll all be coming up in the next few days, and we'll have snapshot votes on them and forum posts. So everyone keep your eyes open for that. And if you haven't gone and read that proposal and you're interested in governance, and please go do so, and then either come into the Discord and ping us if you want to talk, go into the governance channel, or respond directly on the forum. That's the best way to do it. So that's
awesome.
it.
Thank you, Ross.
Yep.
I've, about a month or a month and a half ago, a lot of you guys talk about the governance process in Discord, saying how it's too slow or too fast or this and that. And, we would welcome some of those comments on the forum, because part of the reason why we're updating it is because of those comments originally. So, definitely, if you guys still have those comments or still want to help move along this process, you're welcome, and we're happy to have those comments. All right, moving on. So the distribution of UMA rewards for UGAS and Treasury liquidity mining proposal. This is a proposal that I went over last week, kind of in detail. So you can check out the forum post. I won't do it again because it is a little lengthy, but I've put up the snapshots for those individual items that we needed to decide. Please go on there and just vote whatever you think. Read the forum post beforehand, just because I didn't put a lot of information on the snapshot page, because it's kind of all in one big post, and I separated out each of the decisions in 4 different snapshots. Let's see. Last thing is V2 migration, as you guys know, ends on February 15th, 0100 UTC. We've posted it on YouTube, or not, we posted it on Twitter, on our Discord. I sent out emails to let anyone that has V2 listed. And apparently it's elicited some sort of response because V2 is trading at all-time highs, I think. So don't know why that is, don't know how that works, but there are probably around 300,000 outstanding V2 YAM tokens that need to be migrated. If you migrate one V2 YAM token, it turns into 2.5 the current YAM tokens because of the scaling ratio. So the migration will end on the 15th. Let everybody know if you guys are trading V2, just be careful about it, because you can't. It will become obsolete by the 15th. If you are trading on it on an exchange, let them know as well that we have decided to end it. And this is not the team decided to end it. It is the community that voted through governance to decide to end it. And the reason is just so that we can have one token instead of multiple tokens. And the current YAM is the one that is only. The current YAM is the only token that has governance rights. All right, any questions on past week in governance? All right, on-chain voting proposals coming up soon. They're not up yet. Multi-sig Guardian, it was snapshotted in a week or so ago, and it was passed. Basically, we are going to a multi-sig for Guardian to protect the YAM protocol. And like before, this Guardian can only veto malicious on-chain governance proposals. Since anybody can submit a proposal, for example, they can submit a proposal to steal the treasury if they wanted to. The on-chain governance, Guardian would be responsible for vetoing something like that that's malicious. And obviously, we'll let the community know. If the community sees something, they can let us know. It's the multi-sig is 3 of 5, and the 5 people are part of the team that have been longtime contributors. If you guys have any questions, feel free to read the proposal or the form. 250,000 in WBTC purchase has been approved already, but it's deferred until YDS launch at the end of this month. Upcoming in governance. So Ross has started a proposal. No, not we haven't started the proposal yet, but the idea of using YAM as collateral on UMA for synthetics. So Ross, I'll let you take it away.
Yeah. So there have been some discussions about using YAM as the collateral on UMA, which would then open up YAM to be used in other projects, either that we make or that other DAOs or companies make, like OpenDAO with their perpetual dollar. So I'm going through the process right now of putting together a UMIP, which is the sort of governance proposal for UMA, and we will need to get YAM approved by UMA governance. We will need to get price indicators approved by UMA governance, and there may be a few other little sort of things that need to get approved by UMA governance for that to happen. And then I think as well as that, there's a fee to get collaterals approved. So at least on our end, like anyone could submit a proposal, and if it passes UMA, and then they could pay. And I think that once we are further down this road and it looks like it's likely that we're going to get this, then we'll have to have a YAM proposal to approve getting YAM added as collateral, and then end up using the Treasury to pay the fee.
Very cool. So if you guys don't fully understand this, so right now collateral, like for example, the UGAS that we have on Degenerative, it's a synthetic that's made on UMA's platform. The collateral right now is ETH. So you deposit ETH to mint UGAS, which is, you also get the rewards from that. But the thing that this would do is making YAM as a collateral would actually be really cool, because we can use that as collateral for something like UGAS, but we can also use it for collateral for something like a stable dollar, like Y dollar or just like a stable coin, which would effectively allow you to hold on to your YAMs, but free up a portion of the value as a stable coin so that you can spend it, kind of like what MakerDAO does with their CDPs. So you can still hold YAM and still be long on YAM, but you can free up some of the assets for you to use as a stable coin. So really cool. I think it'd be a good additional use of YAM, and Ross is on top of it. So any questions with that specifically?
I don't have a question specifically. I just wanted to chip in that I think this is fantastic. It's a fantastic proposal and idea, because it adds another layer of utility to the YAM token, right? Which is this one thing that we're constantly focusing on and thinking about. And I think you've seen other tokens and other projects where the addition of this token as a collateral to an Aave or Compound or Cream has really helped increase the attraction of that asset to a larger investor base. Just because they can do more stuff, they can fully participate from the upside, while it's getting a borrow asset that they can use for other purposes.
Yep, awesome input, Theo. On top of that, in addition, you can actually get rewards off of it once we get it whitelisted if we do a stable coin or something like that with UMA. So you can not only free it up, but also make some extra money on it. Let's see, moving on, unless anybody else has something to add.
I was just going to add that I think just generally a lot of people are kind of sleeping on UMA. When you do get into some of the stuff, it's a bit more complicated than a lot of other like Aave and whatnot, which are just lending and borrowing platforms. When you sort of dive in and realize that a whole bunch of stuff can be built on UMA sort of as an oracle, it's pretty powerful, and just having YAM as an available collateral type will allow anyone to build interesting products that use YAM without necessarily needing our permission or our funding or anything like that to move forward. So it's hopefully going to be pretty powerful in the long run.
Awesome, thanks, Ross. Anybody else like to add anything? All right, moving on. Using the Treasury to purchase additional ETH to provide liquidity on UGAS. So as you guys know, we've already provided liquidity on the UGAS February contract. We took about 400,000 in ETH from our Treasury that was freestanding, that wasn't being utilized, and deposited as collateral, minted UGAS, and then provided the UGAS with additional ETH as a liquidity provider. Number one, that creates a liquidity on UGAS, so you can actually buy and sell it without affecting the price significantly. Number two is that it also earns us rewards. So we're thinking about doing more because we still have a lot of YUSD in the treasury. We would need to take some of that YUSD to purchase ETH to do the same thing. So you'll be seeing this proposal up shortly. Just if you guys have any input, if you don't want to do it, there's also Krugman, which is our portfolio manager for YDS, has created a kind of a risk assessment of our current treasury. And if we add additional ETH into the treasury, or we purchase additional ETH, the risk is still fairly low, but well, I'll be posting that with the proposal. Proposal to fund YDS, which, like I said, Krugman is the portfolio manager. You'll be seeing this shortly. This has been something that's been in the works for a couple of months now. We're getting to a point where we want to make the proposal to fund it. Proposal to increase expense fund. So right now we are trying to onboard a couple of developers, front end and smart contract developers. And because of our governance system, it's a tough sell to make them work or make them do things for free and then maybe pay them because they're not guaranteed to pay because they still have to go through the governance process after we figure out we want them. So we do have an expense fund of $5,000, which we've approved in the past. I would like to increase this expense fund and put more yams, from our contributor investing pool into this fund, basically allowing us to, if we find a good dev, it's like, okay, well, let's get you a trial run for a week, but let's pay you so that you are doing work, you are doing like useful things for YAM, but also to see if you would fit into what we're trying to do. So it is important for us to, as we expand, as we do more and more things, as you guys see, we are on a very high dev load right now. We don't have a lot of extra resources and we're looking for resources. So if you guys, we want to build more synthetics, UMA synthetics. We want to, build out the UI for Umbrella. We want to, update the UI for degenerative, and the current devs are busy. You see us, some of the non-dev people on the forums all the time because we're not doing the dev work. Those guys are actually fully packed right now. So that being said, I'd like to get this proposal up so that we can fund additional devs and find additional people to help us out. Any questions on upcoming in governance? All right, very cool. Degenerative finance. Okay, so as you know from last week, we've provided liquidity. Right now, there's a total of 238,000 in liquidity. I know UMA is planning to add probably another 400,000 in liquidity. So there's plenty of liquidity. And if you go to degenerative.finance, you'll see that the price of UGAS February has been on the rise. So there are people trading it. There's only about $7,000 in volume for the last 24 hours, which isn't all that bad actually. So it is a product that you can use now. If there's not enough liquidity in it, you really can't buy it. You really can't sell it. It's not very easy to use. But now, as we move forward into our liquidity plan, where we roll over liquidity on a monthly basis to the next month's contract. Right now, we're on February. On February 7th till about the 10th, because we got to do an on-chain governance proposal, we'll be moving the liquidity to March at or around February 10th. So we'll let you guys know when that's happening. In addition, the rewards are currently being weighted 75% on February and 25% on March. So if you see a lot of people minting UGAS and staking it, or minting and LPing February, let's just say there's not a lot on March. March actually gets a better APY than February. If the numbers are, for example, If February has 75% of the collateral minted and staked or minted and LP'd, and March has 25%, then the rewards are even. But if February has 90% and March has 10%, you're actually better off. If you just want rewards, you're better off doing it on the March contract. Okay, so we're going to try to basically keep the balance of the liquidity on contracts around 75-25. In addition, please go ahead and these two links, I announced it on our updates channel. Please help us upvote it. These are additions to the Zapper.fi interface or the UI that will add YAM contracts so that when you go there, you can see the YAM, what you have staked or what you have in LP or farming and what you have in rewards. So it's good. Just upvote it. It doesn't take but a minute. Anything anybody like to add on this generative finance?
Quick question, so just to clarify, both February and March UGAS tokens are qualified for rewards. Like, is that correct?
Correct. February and March, you have to mint an LP. So that requires you to deposit ETH, mint UGAS tokens, and then you take those tokens and deposit it with more ETH to Uniswap. But good question. Yeah.
And is the plan to always have essentially like a 2-month lead time basically on the tokens? Like, we're not going to have like February, March, April, and June or something like that?
Yeah, currently it is actually it's up for proposal. So it is currently the next 2 months in advance, and it rolls over on the 7th of every month. So what that means is on February 7th, the contracts, the rewards for February move to March 75% and April 25%. So the reason for that is because we want, when you're dealing with the UGAS contracts, you generally don't want to buy the contracts when you're already in the month. You generally want to get the month after, just because it allows you to use the token as a hedge. Sorry for the background noise. So it allows you to use a token for the hedge. If it's February 7th, since the UGAS contract is a 30-day median average, you already know the first 7 days, so those are already fixed. You're not going to be able to hedge, but the rest of the month, aside from those 7 days. Anyways, kind of complicated, but if you guys look at the forum post, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ping me, and we'll clarify it. Any other questions?
One other announcement, I guess, for Degenerative is that there was an update to the UI, to the website. So some of the documentation has been updated and clarified, and some of the like the charting available has been updated. And obviously there are additional updates that are going to be kind of rolling through as we get to them and they get finished and off the assembly line. But just keep an eye out for that, guys.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. We're working on it. If you guys have any feedback, please let us know. We'll update it. If there's any issues that you guys are running into, let us know as well. You know, there was an issue with some liquidations, and we were able to get everybody refunded because it wasn't a fault of the user. It was kind of unclear in terms of how to do it. So some documentation was updated, some restrictions on so that it wouldn't be something that you could do against yourself has been updated, but more are coming. Anything else? All right, moving on. So Umbrella, we've scheduled the audit on the 25th. It was supposed to start a little earlier, but they ran into some backlog issues. So it is starting on the 25th. Alpha UI testing was done. All the functions were set up. There was a payout. You know, we went over this last week, but everything's looking good. We just need to get the audit, And then after that, we start working on we're already currently working on the user interface. The alpha user interface that you guys are interacting with now is not the final. Is not the final interface. It was just something to put up for us to test. So it's definitely not going to be that. But we're working on a new one. All right. YDS update. I don't think Nate's on here today. Sorry, I'll go over it. It's not much of an update.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, Nate.
I'm here, but yeah, not much of an update. Well, I guess it is. The user interface, the trader interface is finished. I'm meeting up with Krugman today so he can try it out on his end and do some testing with it.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. And then, hopefully if whatever way the market goes, we're going to buy some BTC for the treasury, which is good. Let's see. We've got a lot of awesome media marketing things coming up as well. Bruce, if you want to take it away.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So our next campaign push for YAM is we really want to let people know about minting UGAS and LPing UGAS and how that's an excellent way to to park your Ethereum and earn APY by creating UGAS for degenerative and providing liquidity. So that'll be our next pushing how to do it, what it means technically to do it, and what you can earn by doing it. These are some early drafts of some imagery that we're working for the visual campaign for it. And we also launched the UGAS logo competition a week ago. Thank you very much for all the great submissions so far. It's been very inspiring to see a lot of great stuff on the forums. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. The community is really making a lot of awesome stuff here.
Guys, this stuff is so awesome. Honestly, you guys are all killing it. I'm so excited for the things that you guys have been contributing, and I'm excited to see what the community chooses in the voting. But I'm impressed. I think, and so everyone who has submitted, thank you so far, and those who haven't, if you're feeling it, there's still time. So get in those submissions. Sorry, Bruce. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, for sure. Actually, Chris, do you want to talk about the contest terms, how we're updating them?
Yeah. So okay. So we wanted to clarify a few of the contest processes, and that's all in the forum post. We have updated that. Let me. All right, I'm going to share my screen. All right, can you guys see this? All right, so these are the updated terms for the contest. And basically just we wanted to clarify, so everything was above board and everyone knew how we were going to be approaching this. Contest ends on the 31st. So the logo submission dimensions, this is important just from a technical standpoint, just because that's the size of the icons, what the difference, we need those, the icons are going to be that size, right? So if your submission is larger than that, we're going to have to scale it. And depending on whether it's a vector image or a raster image, it may or may not scale well. So if you want your image to be presented, the best way possible, if it gets selected, we need them to be, that resolution. So 320 by 320 in pixels. Right now, the logo submission location is this forum thread. We are debating potentially opening up a Twitter submission type scenario. That's something that other protocols that have run contests have done. That's been very successful. Usually there's an associated hashtag. So basically you would you would tweet your submission and tag us in it and add the hashtag, the contest hashtag in it. The reason we're considering that for two reasons. One, we want to get these submissions as much visibility as possible. And then two, we've been running into some issues with just people having a difficult time posting in the forum. It's something that's still under discussion, and if it does happen, we'll make a big announcement about that as well. So keep an eye out. Prizes, this hasn't changed, I don't believe. The voting, so basically clarifying how it's going to happen. So in February, we're going to have 2 rounds of voting on the forum. So for the first round, every logo that's been submitted is basically on the table. And then the 16 top logos with the most votes will move on to round 2, which is the final votes. And then that round 2 vote is basically going to be the top 5. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll be making a big announcement and push about it. And then, okay, so as far as logo usage, whatever the top 5 are, you're gonna get your prize YAM regardless. Just to make sure we don't get sort of like a spam thing or civil attacks or anything like that. I mean, we want to make sure that whatever the logo that ends up being used, is it's not infringing on any other proprietary imagery or anything like that. There's certain I's that we have to dot and T's we have to cross. So it's not a guarantee that the first prize logo is going to be the logo. It's highly probable, but we are reserving the right to do our due diligence, make sure it's actually appropriate for usage, make sure we're not creating any legal liabilities or anything like that in using it. And then, of course, if for some reason the first prize or first place logo isn't eligible, then we will move down to the second place and so on and so forth. The copyright license. Okay, so this is just something that, again, making sure everyone is aware of who is submitting. Just making sure that you acknowledge that you are providing the logo under the Creative Commons license. That allows us to use it. That allows us to potentially modify it if necessary. YAM won't owe any royalties or anything like that. It's going to belong to the DAO, to the community. So we just want to make sure that people know that they, that's what is going on. And if you're not okay with that, let us know, and no hard feelings. It's just for practical purposes, right? We have to have the ability to use the logo. Otherwise, we wouldn't, request one. So, this is something that we just want everybody to be aware of. And if you have any questions about Creative Commons and how that works, feel free to reach out on the Discord or, DM, Jim or myself or Bruce, and we can kind of talk through it. That's basically it. Yeah.
Bruce, anything else you'd like to add?
Or any
No,
questions?
yeah. Regarding UGAS, no, I think Chris totally covered it. Jim, do you want to chat about the newsletter stuff?
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, about a couple things I'll chat about, but starting with the newsletter. So we've been wanting to increase our outreach and frequency and volume of information to the community. I think we've been doing pretty good. We've been using Medium to intermittently post information that's important. We'll continue to do that. We'll continue to use the Medium as one of our channels, but Substack provides capabilities that Medium doesn't do or doesn't do as well. So we are now setting up 2 different publications within Substack. So one is going to be a monthly newsletter, and that newsletter will be a team effort of contributors. There'll be an editor, that's Chris, And then a bunch of what I'm calling subject matter experts that are part of the team and on this call will be contributing on their particular content expertise. So that'll be on a monthly basis. We're going to theme each month. The first month will be the inaugural issue and the roadmap forward in 2021. So we'll figure out what the other themes are going to be for the other 11 months. So that should be fun. Looks like everybody's excited to contribute. And one thing I want to talk about in a minute after I talk about the other publication is about what we're able to do with Substack. And I'll make it brief. The other publication is a weekly brief. And that will be more pertinent, up to date. It'll be a kind of like a consolidation of what goes on in this meeting plus other things. And it'll be pushed out. Now, both publications will be newsletter-ish in the sense that they are, they'll exist in two different forms. One will be basically a website that you can go to. The other one will be an email. And so the email, we don't have an email database right now. So we're going to go through a little mini campaign to get people to sign up for those two publications, whatever they're interested in. And those will be sign up buttons that will be distributed through Twitter and different places. Now, I've already imported an RSS feed of all the Medium articles into the monthly newsletter. So we also have a connection there and a thread between the two. The Substack gives us some really great marketing capabilities on the database of people who sign up in terms of being able to see engagement. And so we can measure through the analytics. Unfortunately, Medium doesn't allow us to export the database within Medium. So I think we might just use a Medium post to post the sign up button for subscribing to the Substack publications. There's 2,600 or so subscribers in Medium. So we want to share that with them and see if they want to bring on both publications to stay mostly up to the most up to date. Okay, so does anybody have any questions on newsletter brief, news brief, or Substack in general?
About the newsletter signups and email database, I know, in crypto, right, there's always a concern about privacy and that kind of thing. If you guys want to sign up for the newsletter and you're concerned about, privacy of your email and whatnot, I would recommend, I'd recommend like a burner email or something if that's your concern. But I do think just having, just signing up is a great thing because you're going to get updates. You're not going to have to chase us on it. They're going to get pushed out, as they come through on a regular basis. So I'd encourage you to look into that if that's sort of a concern for you.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're getting, YAM is going to use best practices for email. So we won't be doing anything with the list. It's going to be YAM only. If there's another publication that comes out, we will make that available as a opt-in. We won't automatically opt anybody into anything. So anyway, moving forward then, there's a couple other things that we're working on right now that have to do with establishing some frameworks to be able to get the most out of our resources, time and human resources. And so what's in development, one thing that's in development is a modular messaging framework. And what that is when we're doing campaigns that span over multiple media and messaging that spans through many different touch points. Say, for instance, with degenerative, there's tweets, there's Medium posts, there's information. There's the information on the website. There's information on GitHub. There's information in various places. And we want to consolidate that make it consistent, and also make it effective in terms of the messaging that's happening, so that it's identifying the particular audience, what their interest is, matching that with the value proposition of the product or service that we're talking about, and putting that into a framework messaging flow that then can be accessed by anybody who's putting out messaging. That way we have this kind of a consistency that will go forward. So these are just structures that are allowing us hopefully to do our job better and with less resources and less spinning our wheels. There's the UGAS logo competition is really part of a bigger agenda, which I'm calling right now the YAM Community Engagement Program. So just as a reminder, the YAM 3 pillars, the first pillar is the fair launch, and the second pillar is the community-run DAO and treasury. And the third pillar is innovation and experimentation in the DeFi space to expand it. Well, the first 2 pillars really are about the community. And so, we're all about the community, and bootstrapping the YAM protocol to start with was really about, a few people really digging in and working hard. But now what we want to do is reach this out and open it up. So a fun aspect here is within the YAM Community Engagement Program is to do more projects, more fun things like the UGAS logo, but also to create basically like a community kit of parts that we publish, say, for instance, on Discord, maybe it could be for Degenerative to start, then maybe Umbrella later. And those kit of parts are approved, or let's say what we feel is effective messaging, copy, text form, basically, some visuals and some ideas about some finished ideas using the visuals and the copy together, but also providing the kit of parts. And the community can take those and use them in their own Twitter feeds or other social media to play with and have fun and also get the message out. So this is a bigger program that will develop over time. And I think it's going to be fun. And if anybody has any ideas about that or input, feel free to bring up those on the Discord channel, and we'll incorporate that as we're developing it.
And just to reiterate for everyone listening here, so how like in crypto we all and DeFi especially, right? We talk often about creating like a set of like DeFi building blocks. These different composable pieces that can all be used together in unique ways and do really cool stuff. So the YAM marketing team is basically taking the same tact. Like we want YAM marketing Legos that our community can then take and recombine and run wild with. So we want to make that super easy for everybody, just so we can all kind of get the word out about a really cool project that people are finally starting to think about again and talk about again for the first time in a while. So stay tuned for that, because we're excited that you guys are excited, and we want to give you tools to keep that going.
Awesome. Anything else, Bruce, you would like to touch on?
No, I think that's great.
Awesome. So thank you guys for joining in. We're going to save the rest of the time for community questions or comments. I know a couple of you guys have joined. If you'd like to introduce yourself or just have a question, comment, we'll open it up now. All right, very cool. So as you guys know, we are on Discord all the time. Yes, if you'd like to speak. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna butcher your name, so just go ahead.
Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone. Sorry, it's evening here. I'm calling from Nigeria. I'm Okoyemi Olabode. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. It's a little shaky, but I can hear you.
Okay, all right. I joined quite late, but I got quite a number of things. So I wanted to ask about the UGAS logo contest. What's the submission going to be like? And then at the UGAS instructional videos, are they available on the website, or how would I get them?
Sorry, you wanted to ask about the UGAS logo contest. The first question was, what was the first question again? Did anybody get that?
The first question, can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's just a little soft.
Okay. The first question was about the UGAS logo contest. So I wanted to know about the submission, what the submission was going to be like. The second question was about the UGAS instructional videos. Are they available on the website, or what's the source of the videos to check them out?
Okay, I got it.
So
So your first question was,
those are the two questions.
Yeah,
the
I
first
can-
question, you want to do it? You want to answer, Chris?
yeah. Okay, so the submission process right now for the UGAS logo is you go to our forum, the YAM forum, and if you don't know where that is currently, just go to yam.finance. At the bottom, in the bottom menu bar, you'll see forum. It's to the right side of the menu bar. You just click on that, create an account, and then there is a thread dedicated to that. It's pinned. It's called UGAS Logo Design Contest, and it has an exclamation point because we are excited about it. And that's where you would post your submission. We are looking at, we've had some conversations with other projects and protocols that have run contests like this, and gotten some advice in terms of best practices. So we are considering some additional ways to submit that might streamline things a little bit more. But we don't want to speak out of turn before we've really clarified that. So for now, right now, the way to submit is through the forum, like I just said, and then just stay tuned in our Discord for any updates if anything changes. And then as far as the instructional videos, those are still in process. They should be available on our YouTube in the next day or two. And then we'll probably also put them in our documentation on the UGAS website as well. But they're in process. So they're not currently available, but they will be very, very soon.
Great. Do we have any other questions from the community? As always, we're on Discord, so just kind of ping us at any of the channels. We're pretty active on there. If not, then thank you for attending our weekly community call. We'll be having one next week, same time, same place. If you guys have anything else, just let us know, and we'd be happy to talk about it. All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on this call.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Later.
Bye. Thank you.